Yo. So I'm going to be running through my vocal chain, humble beginnings, or just how I process them in general. So basically, I just took all of the vocals that I did at college on the Warm Audio 8000, and I've exported them into my FL Studio. And basically, what I've done is I've just chopped everything up, aligned everything so everything's on beat. I've taken out like a lot of the breaths, but not all of them, just to keep it slightly natural. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of chops. There was quite a lot of breaths,
Ordinary, barely, very, very vanilla.
And then basically I've just grabbed the instrumental mix that I did, mixed it down perfectly. First thing I did was I gain staged everything, which is basically just where you find, you usually put it around about 6 to 3 dBs, even 9, basically just to make sure there's no clipping or distortion so that you're getting a nice clean sound when you're mixing. But I'm just going to go through my vocal chain now. So first thing, we have some EQ. We have some subtractive EQ here, just getting rid of the harsh frequencies, but then I boosted the highs because I wanted some crispiness to the vocals. Then basically this is basically a multi-band compressor, and you basically just like shape it, shape the lows, shape the mid, shape the highs, and it basically just boosts and cuts basically what you don't want. It just gives the vocals a nice clean sound. I then used the LA2A compressor, and I put the preset on pop vocals because I preferred it. It gave the vocals a nice warm feeling. I mean, this is a nice compressor anyway. It's really nice, but basically I just put my peak reduction at 45, and then I also put my my gain at 30, and that was just a nice spot to put it. Right after, then we've got the TDSer, and it basically just gets rid of any harsh frequencies, the S's, and like any disgusting plosives that you have. I ended up using another preset for this, but then I ended up messing around with the dBs and I set it to minus 25.5, and I used the crispy male vocals, and that just once again gives the vocals a nice clean feeling. I then put some reverb on it, but with this reverb, I ended up cutting the lows up to 470 hertz, 475 hertz, and then I put the room size to 15 just because we don't want too much of an echo, just as these are the main vocals, and the same for the wet knobs, just on 9%. So there's only a little bit of wet. Most of it it's basically a dry signal. Then we got some mere fat, which is some saturation, and that's basically just add some more frequencies, just to make it a little bit more meaty, but it makes the vocal sound a little bit wet, so I only put it up to 5%, just to give it that little extra boost. Then I used fresh air, and I used fresh air to boost the mids and the highs. I've got that on 20%, this on 5%, but then I trimmed it by -1, just because it was a little bit too, it boosted too much a little bit, so I just had to cut away from that just a tiny bit. Then I have a plugin called Wider, and it's basically just a stereo image plugin. It basically just widens out the vocals, giving them a little bit of space. I only used it to 25%, just because this is on the main vocals, and you kind of want it to sit around the mono range, but it just made it fit nicely into the mix. And then I've basically just got like a master EQ, which just cuts away all of the frequencies that we don't want 100%. So we got rid of all of the low ends, I think up to about 40 hertz, and then we cut at around about 20,000 hertz. You can't hear past that anyway. It's just pointless frequencies. And then we just have a little bit of a subtractive, but I'll show you what this does.
Wake up, make some
Basically,
music, chill out, shut the
these are all of
gorilla.
the harsh frequencies within the vocals, and it gets rid of like any slight distortion or some like weird sounds that you might get.
Something coming, so keep going until opportunity
Like,
will
hear
pop
that?
out where I
That's
show that
disgusting.
I'm
No
iller.
one wants that. No one wants that. So
Beginnings, but
that's basically what I did for the first vocal chain.